It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest from Syracuse.com and the Shout podcast, Matt Parrino. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Short week as the Bills get set for the Texans. We're going to set you up. I'm Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin, with you again this week on WBBZ. Thanks for watching. We're going to talk about the Bucs here in a second. We have a special guest coming up in the Mafia who I'm sure you're going to want to meet because she is the Bills fan of the year. How she got there, what she's getting for it. And yeah, she is certainly a super fan, so she will join us in the Mafia segment of the program. And of course, we'll look forward to the Texans game as well. But as we always do, we recap the week's previous game and a big 44-32 scoreagami victory.
Oh, yeah.
For the Bills over the Bucs. 1,095 score combinations possible. It's the first time that score has ever happened in the history of the league.
Hey, that's awesome.
Pretty cool. So, you know, last year at Highmark, what did we do? We got a scoreagami score, right?
Exactly.
Not bad, right? And not a bad performance overall. I mean, you know, look, the team and the coaching staff always talks about all three phases. And, you know, Josh gets his 6 touchdowns. Special teams, incredible in terms of the return game. Defense, again, you know, depending on how you want to describe them, they were good enough to win, I guess, is the best way to say it, right?
Yeah.
So what for you was the biggest takeaway of this game? Because there's a lot of things you could have taken away from this game.
I think the biggest takeaway to me is that Josh Allen got in a rhythm, and I think he's going to carry it over the rest of the season because I think it's been a while since Josh has gotten in that rhythm where he looked comfortable and he looked like he was dominating the game. He had the answers. He understood what was coming to him. It's been a couple weeks since we've seen that, maybe since the Baltimore second half. That's what I take away. I take away that Josh is comfortable with this new receiving core. You got Gabe Davis out there. You got Shavers out there making big plays, and I think that was huge for him. And to me, it looked like Joe Brady asked Josh, what are you comfortable doing? Because a lot of the game plan seemed like stuff that Josh was really comfortable doing in 2021, 2022, back when the coaches were Brian Daboll. So I was happy with the way he played.
He was not perfect.
No, but
he missed a lot of throws, turned the ball over, but.
Yeah, but when Josh is playing best, he's taking those risks. He's making the plays that maybe don't always go perfectly. But, you know, we ended up with 44 points on the board and the second ever 3-touchdown rushing, 3-touchdown passing game by him. So he dominated the game.
Yeah, and you know, we'll talk about this a little bit later in the show, but he's seemingly getting all the flowers, but so many other people deserve praise and their flowers based on the plays he's getting a lot of credit for.
Yeah, no, fantastic game by guys like Shavers and Palmer and Samuel and, you know, Ray Davis with the running, the kick returns and James Cook not getting frustrated in the run game. A very patient game by the offense. One of those games where maybe the fans are having a tough time watching them stall out a little bit, but I think it was that positivity on the sideline, keeping everybody engaged in the game, and it seemed like Joe Brady had an answer for everything the Bucs threw at us.
And Ty Johnson, I mean, that guy just, he might be very possibly the most underrated player on this team. He does everything well.
Yeah, get him the ball more because anytime the ball's in his hands, he really knows what to do with it. He's just super fast and, you know, 52-yard run followed by that awesome celebration. Ty Johnson's a good player.
How about Cole Bishop? Man, another great game from him.
Yeah, and the safety position as a whole since those first couple weeks has really come on strong. Cole Bishop looks like a completely different player. When he plays confident, he's one of the best safeties in this league. He's becoming a real superstar in this defense. He's got 2 straight weeks with interceptions. He's aggressive. He tackles very well, and he hits super hard. Cole Bishop is a player that I think is going to be a Bills staple for a long time.
Obviously, a lot being made, too, about the fact that Keon Coleman did not play. Missed a meeting. Was publicly out there, and it's funny because a lot of times those things don't get out.
Yes.
It got out. It's been talked about. It's not 1 but 2 meetings he's been late for or missed. So this is a thing that's becoming trendy for him, which doesn't look particularly great. But Sean McDermott said in the postgame, I still have faith in him. We believe in him. What do you think?
I mean, he's a 22-year-old kid, so I don't want to pile on the guy too much, but With the struggles he's had in terms of offensively, the effort he's shown on the field, it's definitely not good for you to start missing meetings. And I think benching him was probably the right call in this situation. I also thought he could have been a healthy scratch just because of the guys they had coming up. But I do think there's a role for Keon Coleman in this offense. I think it's that, while Dalton Kincaid is hurt, I think that big slot role could be a good role for Keon. He just needs to kind of get whipped into shape and realize that this is a professional football league. It's not like you're going to just have the talent and be the star player. Like, you got to show up to the meetings, you got to do your homework. So, like I said, I don't want to pile on a 22-year-old kid. He has tons of potential, but the offense looked much more comfortable without him on the field.
Yeah, for sure. And, of course, the defense gave up a lot of yards to Sean Tucker. We know about that. His 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, there is a guy who I want to highlight that did not have a good game because I was watching him. I think Joey Bosa had some struggles out there. He had Baker Mayfield shake him on that one play. He lost contain on a couple runs by Sean Tucker. Listen, not everybody was perfect yesterday. Definitely not the defensive line. And Joey Bosa is a guy that has played well this year, and I think that was not his best game.
And I will say this lastly before you go to break. Great to see Gabe Davis back in the field, but I would say this, and he was extremely humble in terms of what his role will be on this team after coming back from injury, saying, look, I'm just here to play. Like, if you need me, I'm here. I'll step in wherever you need. I would kind of kid gloves Gabe Davis a little bit. Don't expect him to be that 4-touchdown KC guy next necessarily that's going to stretch the field. But do expect him to be a guy that will contribute.
Yeah, he's there where Josh knows he's going to be, and Josh is going to get him the ball. Stepping in, and he hasn't played the whole season. He's been on the practice squad, and Josh still had a certain amount of familiarity with him, and he was comfortable throwing to Gabe Davis. So I think he really shored a lot of things up. I know he only had 3 catches for 40 yards, but whatever he does, he's not that fast, but he can get deep, and he's really good in that intermediate passing game, and Josh trusts him. So, I know that a lot has been said about Keon Coleman, but I do think that this receiving corps played a role in the way Josh was playing. He seemed more comfortable. He seemed to step into his throws, and he trusted the guys he was playing with.
It's a whole other show, by the way. We're really late for a break here, but it's a whole other show talking about, why guys got open, right? The guys that were on the field were not 4.2 40 guys for the Bills. They were far from it, and yet they got open. So, again, that's a whole other show to determine why that happened in this game against Tampa. Maybe it was Jamel Dean out of the game, whatever. Doesn't matter. But still, guys got open. Josh had time to throw. They executed. And a good win for the Bills. All right, we'll fast forward to the Texans in our final segment. Mafia coming up as well. Stay right here. It's a Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
All right, joined the show by Matt Parrino from Syracuse.com and the Shout podcast. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing great. You're looking good. So let's talk a little bit about the Bucs game. Josh, 6 touchdowns, obviously, and everyone's talking about that, and he's getting all his flowers, but he was far from perfect, right? Some bad giveaways, some bad throws in situations where they looked pretty easy. He got a lot of help on those touchdowns too, didn't he?
The last couple of weeks, I think one of the things that's really hurt the Bills' passing game, if you go back over the last couple of years where they've been so successful, is in the scramble drill. And I think Keon Coleman, who was obviously down this week, that's been one area of his game that I thought projecting from Florida State to here was going to be like this perfect symphony with Josh Allen. And it just hasn't really meshed very well. And I think if you go back and watch this game, whether it was Gabe Davis, I think late in the game on a scramble drill, the Tyrell Shavers touchdown was Josh Allen buying some time in the pocket and Shavers realizing he had to adjust. He kind of broke off his route, got to the third level, and that to me is what makes this team so hard to deal with offensively, and why you could see a 40-plus point performance, because even when you scheme it up pretty well against Josh, when he gets off structure, that's historically where he's been his best. And so you got to put the receivers out on the field that are going to maximize those opportunities. And I think, Curtis Samuel's banged up early in the week. That's one area that I've kind of wanted more from him as well. I know he made that big play in the Dolphins game where it was like 3rd and 16, and he ends up getting a 21-yard reception. But this last game, there was one play where he was running out of real estate on a crossing route near the sideline, and Allen kind of gave him the finger, like, dude, go deep down the field. There's open grass. That's a wide open touchdown. And he was a little bit too late to react to that, and it ended up being a long incompletion. Those are the kinds of things that you got to get on the same page with in practice. But I think with Shavers and Palmer and Kier has historically been really good, and then Gabe back in the mix, they got a bunch of guys that are built to kind of re-energize this passing game.
Is it scary to hear Josh say, hey, I could have hit my first progression and I could have hit my second progression. They were open, but I didn't?
No, only because who we're talking about. I think that he has built kind of equity and confidence level that even when he goes through these stretches, he's always found a way to get out of it, get out of the funk. And he still goes out there and throws for over 300 yards and becomes only the second player ever to score 6 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 3 passing in the same game. And oh, by the way, the other time it was Josh Allen too. Right. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to be critical of the guy because he has such another gear that almost nobody else in the league can hit right now. And if you're talking about like the power players as we project into December and in January, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, the quarterbacks that have done it at a high level, obviously Matthew Stafford as well in the NFC. Things aren't looking good in Baltimore and Kansas City right now. The Bills have 2 more wins than both of those teams, and their playoff push is going to be very interesting over the course of the next couple of weeks.
Let me ask you about the young guys in the secondary. I mean, I didn't hear Maxwell Hairston's name called once, which is a good sign, right? Defensively against the Bucs, and Cole Bishop with another pick. I mean, especially with Cole Bishop, what button did they push with him in the last month?
I'm as guilty as anybody with, maybe a little bit of impatience with Cole Bishop. And you look up at the start of the season and he missed a ton of training camp and 2 preseason games again. And, the noise gets louder about whether or not this is going to be the guy to be a hit at that safety spot. And whoever it was going to be, whoever they ended up drafting, especially high for a second round, following Poyer and Hyde was going to be a really tall task. And I think what happens is we forget about the details and the context around some of these players sometimes because, there's Super Bowl windows here and Josh Allen is in his prime and you want to try to hit on all these draft picks. The kid is only 22 years old. He was 21 last year. He's one of the youngest starting safeties in the NFL, and he missed most of last season. He was on he didn't get his first start, I don't think, until November last year. I think he had 5 in the regular season. So he is just getting to the point this year on November 18th. I think he's about to start his 17th game, if not that, almost there. So he hasn't even played a full season in the NFL yet. And I think sometimes we're just a little bit too quick to judge. And I think that's why Sean and his staff, for the most part, and there's been some examples of Kyer Elam where it hasn't worked out and Cody Ford before him. But for the most part, they have a pretty good track record of developing these guys. And even if it's not year 1 or year 2, finding a way to get them to get to where they need to be. And luckily for the Bills defense, it seems like Bishop is really taking off halfway through his second season.
Give your podcast a plug, give your writing on your website a plug, get that all out there for everybody to check out.
Yeah, you can find everything over at Syracuse.com. We are myself, Ryan Talbot, we do the Shout Buffalo Football podcast. You find that on YouTube and then all the audio platforms as well. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Okay, team, we're down by 6 with only 1 play left. It's comeback time. Yeah. We need a play. The reverse ribeye. No good. The porterhouse pitch. Too risky. The strip steak sweep. That's it. Go Russell.
Touchdown!
Where would you like to have dinner tonight?
Brussels, of course.
Be my guest and let us do the rest.
I was in a car accident. My front tooth cracked. I'm definitely embarrassed to smile. I got mini dental implants. It changed my life because it made me feel like me. Like I can smile and feel like Ashley. I just want to say thank you.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
I'm more than happy. I'm ecstatic.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. We're going in the pocket. With Sam Castronova, UFL. When are you going? March, you said? Okay.
March, yes.
All right, and you're working out hard. You got a haircut. You're looking good.
Yeah, trying to get
good.
You know, trying.
Let's talk some football. It looks most likely like Davis Mills is going to play. Sorry, I know you're prepped for C.J. Stroud. Yeah. But Davis Mills is going to play, it looks like, because Stroud's still in concussion protocol. So what do you know, if anything, about Davis Mills? And look, he doesn't have a lot of talent around him, really. I mean, especially in the run game. You got a recycled Nick Chubb, Woody Marks. I mean, and then your receiver, of course, Nico Collins, maybe a little Dalton Schultz, but, I'm assuming it's going to be that same get after the quarterback and make them one-dimensional.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago when he was playing before they got C.J. Stroud, I think he looked like a decent quarterback, maybe a real competent backup, and then maybe kind of had a couple bad games, and then C.J. came in, obviously. But he's played all right the last couple of weeks. Got Nico involved, which always helps when you can get somebody like that involved. But, get after the quarterback, pressure him, and probably just try and mix things up on him just because, he's only been in the league for a few years, only seen a certain amount of reps. So, yeah, they got some young guys that can kind of have a little bit of juice. So, but they're all just kind of, you don't know who's going to do it on what day. So if we can kind of limit that and just take away the head of the horse, which is Nico, then I think we can be pretty successful.
Love it. All right, get the ball over there. Mafia's coming up. Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. The Mafia has come to the table. We got Jared, we got Sam, we got Bob Ganji, who's been here many times. Congratulations on the new grandchild.
Oh, thank you.
I saw that on your socials. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
I didn't do anything. That was 28 years ago.
Okay, that's fine. And a very special guest, and I can't believe it's taken us this long to get you on this silly show that we've been doing now for 5 years. Therese Fortin-Barnes joins us now. 2025 Bills Fan of the Year.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I saw some of the social media when you found out, and you looked genuinely surprised, excited, like I don't know where this came from, kind of like walk me through that process when you found out and what's come of it since.
I was genuinely surprised. I was shocked, actually. And I saw Thurman and Patty, and I still, for that split second, didn't even know. I thought, what are they? And then I saw the cake and I saw the jersey. I'm getting teary-eyed thinking of it because it was such a special moment.
Yeah, it's awesome. You have your very special Water Buffalo hat.
They had that made for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, go with the jersey.
Awesome.
So.
Talk about your love for Buffalo sports and how you've celebrated it so many ways over the years.
Yeah, so I've been very fortunate. My father brought us up loving football, loving hockey. My brother actually is the assistant general manager of the Sabres. I'm the football girl in the house. He's the hockey guy in the in the family. So, and then through the years, what you're mentioning is that I've been planning events for Jim Kelly for 39 years in some capacity. Did his wedding, did his retirement, did his Super Bowl parties, did his golf tournament for 39, helped with it. And then Ryan Miller, of course, and Zach Bogosian. So I've been in the realm of hockey, football for a long time. But then on top of it was the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. I was a past president for 5 years. So it's just in my blood, but it's also in my heart that I have wanted to also give back to the community in some way, on some level. So it's twofold, right? It's so Buffalo that, you love your sports, but you also want to give back to the community.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, talk about your hat.
Yes, right, the hat too. So I started the hat, the Water Buffalo Club hat, about 4 years ago, and just a total, fluke that I love the Flintstones. So when we went to the playoff 17-year drought, game, I just decided to come up with this hat, and it just took off like crazy. And then I found a place in Buffalo to make these deluxe hats called Stitch Buffalo. So it's a really win-win for everybody. It's a great item, but it also gives back to the women that make all these different items at Stitch Buffalo that have unfortunately had to settle here, but now they love Buffalo, from all different countries that they were pulled from their country for different reasons and now live here, and they're master sewists. It's amazing. So it's kind of a fun story too.
Well, you are so incredibly deserving. One more time. Awesome. Obviously, the Bills come out 44 points. Lots of flowers for Josh with his 6 touchdowns. Pretty remarkable that he was able to pull off that stat. But generally, how'd you come away with it? I mean, that was a tight game for a lot of it.
I didn't think we would win the game. I'm kind of on the downslide of I've been the eternal optimist for so many years, and I think it's more of a psychological thing for me. I said they're going to lose, and usually I feel better when they win, that type of thing. But I think it had to do with coaching, because how is it that these guys are not open? I was really hard on Josh between a group of my friends, blaming it on Josh, because 1, 2, 3, step back. I'm not throwing it. Now, is it because he's not sure of it, or is it because the guys aren't open? He's not trusting what he's seeing. This game, obviously, he did a little bit of everything. He dropped back, made the quick throws. You got Gabe Davis with the slants. But then again, he's still jumping out of the pocket, and he's making plays. So I'm confused, to be honest with you. I don't know. So I'm just going to predict that they're going to lose every week, and maybe I'll be happy in the end.
Okay, that's great. Low expectations, right? And then they win, and you're excited. So for you, Therese, the Bills did all this without Kincaid. Shakir got shut out. And really without James Cook running the football and Keon Coleman.
Yeah, I got to give Joe Brady credit here. Yeah. He's been taking a lot of heat, and I think he really came up with a great game plan. We were so predictable, and I think they did it. He did it, and Josh came out of that first quarter as the Josh we know and the Josh we love, and here we are with a great win.
As the quarterback of the group, literally. I mean, we've been talking about this for weeks, about Josh having a little bit more pocket presence, a little bit more patience in the pocket. So not only did he have that, but they protected up front too. And he's getting a lot of flowers. But in the end, I mean, think about who made those plays, right? Josh on the scramble drill. Shaver sees he's got a scramble drill. Hello, I'm wide open. I mean, that's a lot on Shavers, and he makes a great catch. Yeah. And then the running backs and the blockers in front of them on the other 2 touchdowns, I mean, they did the hard work. It's Josh delivering here, Josh delivering here, and Josh just heaving it up. So they deserve a lot of the credit too.
Yeah, everybody deserves a lot of credit. Like she said, Joe Brady had a much better game plan today, or last game, getting the running backs involved. I think the running backs had a combined 127 receiving yards, which I think we had 170 all year before that.
That's right.
I mean, Ty Johnson, they say, is the best third down back in football. And throwing the ball maybe a little bit more. James Cook is great after the catch, as long as he holds on to onto the catch. So we'd like to see that continue. And I mean, I definitely think the game plan was much better, but Josh was still sometimes making a lot of plays after dropping back for 3 seconds, running around the Shavers touchdown. So Josh is still Josh after he shook off whatever was going on in the first quarter. But it was good to see.
This is for Sorrentino's dough, everybody, okay? This is open, everybody at the table except me, because I am the one that knows the answer. First meeting ever between the Bills and Houston was in 2002 in Houston. The Bills won that game 31-24. They had a 100-yard rusher and a 100-yard receiver. Tell me either one of them. Travis Henry is absolutely right.
Oh, look at that.
Henry.
And Peerless Price was the 100-yard receiver. Drew Bledsoe was a quarterback in the game. Sorrentino's go to all of you. Thanks to this guy. See, it worked out perfectly for everyone.
I was thinking the Lossman game.
Right?
To
the Evans.
To the
Yeah, that was amazing. That was an amazing game. 2 80-yard touchdown passes to Lee in that game. All right, so now we got to get your predictions. Bob, first for you.
Houston 23, Buffalo 20.
So you feel better at the end when they win. Therese, what do you think? Score.
Buffalo 34, Houston 13.
Yeah, I'm going to go Buffalo 17, Houston 13.
Sure, close game. I mean, really good defense.
Yeah,
Houston's a good defense.
Yeah, very good.
All right, we'll break the game down, have our score prediction coming up as well. Guys, thank you. Congratulations again to you, Therese. Absolutely. Really great stuff. Back with more after this on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin mini dental implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as one visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associate Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin. Thursday night football. Fitz, Witt on the pregame. Gotta look forward to seeing those guys do that in Houston, where of course Fitz played as well, one of his million teams he played for in the NFL. All right, so we're going to talk the Texans. Bottom line, no letdown from the Bills, right?
No, this defense on the Texans is very strong. They're number one in the league in a ton of categories, including total points allowed. They get after the quarterback. They're super strong on the back end. This is, in my opinion, the best defense in the league, the best defense we've faced all year. So they got to continue to be strong, and they got to continue to be strong offensively and defensively, because you can have a really strong defensive performance, flip the field, and this game can get out of hand pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. So the Texans come in 5-5. They're tied with the Ravens and the Chiefs, one game behind the Jaguars. They got a lot to play for. They got a lot to play for in this game. They're not going to play with C.J. Stroud, though. Davis Mills will be in at quarterback. You know, you mentioned their defense. I mean, Anderson and Hunter are fantastic, 8 and 9 sacks respectively. And then you got Petrie leading the team in interceptions with 3, but he's in concussion protocol. That could be massive for the Bills if he can't play in this game.
Yeah, it could be huge if one of their, their best cover guys is out, and that's where the middle of the field could be open this game. And I think they got to continue to call some of the same plays they called in that Buccaneers game, and let Josh get comfortable again.
Yeah, +7 in the takeaway department are the Texans in the plus-minus. But we mentioned Davis Mills, Nico Collins. They got the Jalen's and the Jadens and the Christian Kirks, and they got Dalton Schultz, and then they got recycled Nick Chubb and Woody Marks, who I know very little about.
Yep.
But all of that being said, let's get to the point real quick and find out what you think is going to happen in this game and get your prediction.
You know, I like the Bills in this game. I like them 27-14. I think they're going to come out strong. I know it's a short week, but I think they got some time to prepare, and I think you're going to see the passing game go off again.
Yeah, I hope so, because I don't want to predict the score I'm going to. And it's in favor of the Bills, but it's closer than I want it to be. So I'm going to go 22-16 Bills. I'm hoping they score more. I know they're the better team simply by virtue of the quarterback in this game. But we know what's happened to Josh in Houston in the past, right? So let's hope things go our way enough to get a win and come out of this and extend the good feel for Bills Mafia worldwide. We got to thank some people for bringing the show together. Aesthetic Associates, Dr. Todd Shatkin, you, of course, Dr. Jared Shatkin, Sorrentinos, Russells, and Napoli's, of course, you for watching. Bills, Texans, big game. Chance for the Bills to go 8-3 on this Thursday night football. Thanks for watching. This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.